Okay, it's recording. Okay, wait. Mm, okay, what did I miss? All right, I just need people to stop talking. Okay, hello everyone. How's everyone doing? Okay, no answer. Good. Right. So welcome to this final exam review session for Comp 330. It's not for another course. Um, right. So maybe some admin stuff. Well, the only thing I think in terms of admin was there's office hours. Molly's doing office hours starting at 2, so from 2 to 5. I'll probably also be there a bit um, because she'll probably be overwhelmed. So, and there's also office hours tomorrow from 2 to 4, but really there's this thing I have to go to at 6. So I'll probably just stay around. So if you need me until 6, I'll probably be here. Um, if you don't, then that's also good. But and the other thing is, does anyone here actually want the office hours to be on Zoom? No, no one. Okay, show of hands. Who wants the office hours on Zoom? One person on Zoom? You want, okay, 2 people. Okay. Uh, well, there was 3. Okay, maybe I'll do like the first hour on Zoom or something. What, sorry? No, office hours. This is a review session. Okay. Yeah, the one tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, I'll do, yeah. Yeah. Hybrid. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay, good. All right, so now we can actually start. And the iPad's working. Right. Yes. Okay, well, let's test. Very good. Okay, there's a lag, but we'll deal with it. Okay, so maybe just before we get started, some notes about the exam. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is make sure you review what Prakash said about the exam. Very important. He really gave you some really nice tips about it. So make sure you review what Prakash said. I think it was December 5th, December 5th or something. So make sure you do that. Okay, so that's nothing new. Um, the other thing I wanted to say is if there's a question, I'm not saying there is, but if there's a question and you start solving it and you're like, oh, well, we kind of saw some of this in class, it's fine to say, okay, I'm going to cite class notes and then the rest is the same. So you can do that. I'm not saying there's a question like that. I'm just saying you can do that. So then, like, maybe one question takes longer. And then if you get to that question, then maybe that one can be shorter because you can just say, oh, well, the rest of this is similar to class notes. Okay. So make sure to use class notes when applicable. Okay. And then the last thing is if it seems like during the final that you're writing a lot, then that's probably a bad sign. So because usually Prakash doesn't ask questions that require a lot of writing. They require thinking, but they don't necessarily require a lot of writing. Okay. So if you're writing if you're going over the page, if you're using the verso of the page, that's a bad sign. Okay. So so try to keep it concise. Also try to keep it concise for us, the markers, because we have to read all that. But that's our problem. So I guess keep it, well, I guess, well, how do I say this in words? Um, if you're writing too much, then it's probably a bad sign. Yeah. So more than, okay. All right. Okay, good. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's probably no questions about this, right? Okay, good. Okay. All right, very good. So now we can actually do some material. So what I'm going to do for the review session, which we're doing now, is I'm going to go backwards. So I'm going to start with computability stuff, and then do CFL stuff, and then regular language stuff, because arguably the last part of the class is more difficult. So then that's what I'll do. Okay. So it would be nice if you could see the questions. Mhm. Oh, I know. Okay. So, right. So for computability, I'm going to do, what am I going to do? I'm going to do questions 18 C and then 14I. 17. Okay. Okay. Okay, so 13 is just multiple choice or like true false. So 13b says if L is CE, then L complement cannot be CE. So before I ask you if this is true or false, let's just, what is CE? Well, what is computable? So this is like a broad recap. So we have regular languages, right? And then we have context. Sorry. Oh, thank you very much. Then we have context-free languages, right? And then all of these languages are decidable. Okay. And then amongst the decidable languages, so this is where the decidable languages are. And this is where the CE languages are. And this is where the co-CE languages are, right? So if language is decidable, then it's CE. But if it's CE, right? So if it's here, it's not necessarily in here. But of course, if it's here in the intersection, then of course it's going to be in CE, right? Okay, good. So now back to the question. Okay, so right, so I said I was going to give you some time to think about it. So like L is CE, then L complement cannot be CE. What do we think? Oh, sorry, what? Yeah. What if it's computable? Very good. Right. So what if L was, let's say, oh, oh, this is annoying. Right. So this is decidable, right? Because we know we can test for, like, we know everyone's written probably code to check if you can check if something is a prime number, right? So that's L. L is decidable, right? So L is decidable, right? Which means it's here, which means it's also in here, right? So L is also CE. So then L complement is just a complement of this, right? So what's the complement of L? Yeah, someone said not prime, but whispered it. So A of P such that P is not prime. Well, this is also decidable, right? If you can check that something is prime, you can also check if something is not prime, right? So this is also decidable. So then if L complement is decidable, that means it's also in here, right? So that means it's also in here, which means it's also CE, right? And so what this was asking is if L is C, then L complement cannot be C. Right, well, that's clearly false because we found an example where it is, right? So this is false. Good? Okay. Silence is always good. Uh, yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. What do you think? So the question was, if L is CE, is it always true that L complement is co-CE? Yes, right, by definition. Right. So if L is C, that means that you know if something is an X, that you have an algorithm to say, yes, it is an X, right? But that's the same thing as saying you have an algorithm that tells you, no, it's not in the complement of that, right? It's these two things are equivalent, right? Okay. So please stop me if you have questions. Don't just blank stares. That's not good. I want happy stares. Okay. Okay, C. So what does C say? C says if L1 and L2 is CE, then either L1 or L2 must be CE. So nothing new really, like in terms of definitions, it's the same idea as this, right? So what do we think? False? Why is it false? Yeah, very good. Right.